Welcome to the Awesome. I'm Big Roy, and this is the Strike Force Master Launch Podcast. Here's my co-host, Chewburger84.
All I want to do is hear a dark clock. Should we carry that on for the whole show? I feel like we should.
Probably not, no.
Why?
Because no one on the planet will know what you're talking about.
Greatest song of 2020. You watch it. After hearing this podcast, it'll literally double the amount of views that video has. Oh, God, I love that guy's comedy. So funny. And hashtag no context. I love just throwing in stuff that people go, what is this guy on? I like it.
Do I have the right podcast?
Yeah, this is the German Dance Music Appreciation Hour, yes? No? Is this... I get so many different alternatives, but they're all filthy after that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Strike Force Masters Launch Podcast. Welcome back. It is a pleasure to have you here. It's obviously joined by Roy as per usual. And we do love the fact that you join us every single week. Now, if you'd like to support the show, there's a few ways you can do it. First one, most obvious, tell your friends about it. Share it on those Alliance Discords. Point them in the right direction on alternatereality.com or alternatively via all good podcast apps. Now, if you want to go a little bit further and get a couple of bit of extra cash in your pocket, although you play Strike Force, so that's doubtful, you're welcome to support us via our Patreon channel. And we appreciate every single one of you who has done that. If you'd like to join the growing ranks, make sure you head on over to patreon.com/SFMOL. Now, this week, Roy, we had a few new people do that. To Self Hal 5, our new apprentice, to Surf Diver, our new apprentice, to Bat Butt, our new supporter, and to an old legend, Hulked Out Heroes, who has decided he wanted his own tier. So he's done an undeclared amount above our maximum, which is pretty crazy. And going forward, he shall be known as the whale who can't be milked.
Can you milk a whale, Greg?
Well, you might be able to, but you can't milk him. That's the main point of the story. If there's any takeaway, you cannot milk Hulked Out Heroes. And I've tried, like, multiple times. He's like, look, one more time, there's a restraining order. Just leave, please.
Nothing's coming out.
Exactly. So look, a super quick shout out to our journeymen and our masters. So thank you to Andrew M, X23, Beer God, Mookie, The Dawkins, Justin Beard, Paul Pike, Irish Avenger, Scooter Yule, Chilbo, Cravino, Ticken Arthur, Dun and Dun, Real Lee, Lemon Rust, Big Spartan 34, Bo Slayer, Legrove, Cheetah, Hobbs, Hamdesus, Domino, Alan G, Morphine Dream, Grimnos, Captain Hammer, Michael L, Metalhead, Uthred, Abyssarium, and Slim. And also to the Masters, JW Senbart, Liquid Cool, Dragus Assassin, Judas Moon, Folpsy, Kane, Sparks, Jackie246, J Shriver138, Tuggernuts, Commander, Iceman, Shalast doesn't need to be here, he's up one more. Drakathor, Jedi Matroza, Mikey, Ace Trainer OP, Incorrect User, Dahooch, Brian C, Bronzy, Neil Wildeybird, Lazy James, Sumo Raider, Honeycombs, Agent Zero. And a massive thank you to those on their own tier, the Uber tier, the Overlords, the Sith Lords, the Gods, I don't know what we're going to call them. Whatever they want to be called, Roy, as far as I'm concerned. They've bought their own tier. So to Shalasta, Lord Keen, Maseo, and then, of course, one more time, Hulked Heroes, the whale who can't be milked. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, Roy, of course, we support the free-to-play players here. This is not... it's not, one-sided. So for those that don't want to spend any cash, but they still want to help the show, how can they do that? Absolutely free.
Yes, you can help support us absolutely free by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. We have 4 new/updated ones this week. Wow. So the first one is an update from Rabbit89P13. His update is, pulled a 7 red star Maw and X23, thought she would like to know.
What the hell?
Yeah, those are some pretty good pulls to pull 7 red stars on.
Very, very good.
Yes, on his older review was he wanted to know your opinion on a 7 red star Carnage. So,
oh my God.
He's doing quite well in the 7 red star department.
He's literally ticking all the boxes off my recommendations for DD3, by the sounds of it.
Yep. Next from You Sigma Prickface Yet. Okay. I look forward to this podcast every week. Much like the man that invented the Segway, Chewburger and Bigroy will have you dying with laughter from the ride they take you on. If you need questions answered, this is the place to be. Whether you're free to play or like spending, these boys won't steer you wrong, especially if you have an addiction to the cliff that is red stars. It's a great place to catch up on rumors about upcoming characters and events, like the potential that Doc Ock could be coming to the game, which would hopefully pair well with the 7 red Gamer with Grit Rhino I just pulled last week. Keep up the good work. 7 red stars falling from the sky for people.
I'm all happy with the Gamers with Grit. Free shout out. I like it. And that's a hell of a good timing talking about segues, because last week I feel was probably the worst segues I've ever done in any show that we've recorded. I didn't even try. It was just like, So, speaking of testicular cancer, we have red stars today. Is that, you know what I mean? Wasn't even close.
And then the next one is an update from the apocalyptic one. Update, Big Roy, now you have to do the burn intro every week going forward. We demand it. Once again, love the content, fellas, and good luck with your fitness journey, Chew.
Hey, there's a great point in there, since you've thrown me under the bus for the last 2 weeks. If I have to do dumb things while reading out the monthly names list, I think that people can mess with how you have to do the intro. I really like this plan. I like it a lot. That's my favorite review so far this month because of that. I've got ideas.
Yes, well, my
Please
catalog
feel free to send your suggestions to Bigroyawesome.
well, my catalog of voices is much smaller than yours, so they don't have many to choose from.
I reckon it's funnier when people can't do the impression. Way funnier. When you reach for it, and you're going for James Bond, and you end up sounding like, I don't know, James Blunt.
Yes. Speaking of James Bond, that is one of the few impressions. I have Sean Connery. And then we got Byrne, and then Deckard Cain, who is very close to Bane, so we'll call him Deckard Bane. That's pretty much it. Oh, and then the orc peon. Work.
That's right. That one was always pretty good.
And also Yoda, so they kind of go back and forth on that one. So, so let me know what you want to hear. I'll start doing the intros and confuse people that tune in. Like, why is he doing the weird voice?
Hell yeah. Hey, we're going to keep it fun for ourselves, right?
Yes, absolutely. All right, then finally our last one is from Gib149. Love these guys. You guys make this game so enjoyable for newer players. I'm day 150 as of last week. And so glad I found this podcast. It is just what I need for learning how to build and manage my resources. Keep up the good work. P.S. I do not know why I would share this. TMI. I just pulled a 7 red star Shuri and have still yet to unlock her. Here's to you, Chew.
Oh my god.
Ouch. Day 150 and they pulled their 7 red stars.
I don't even know you can unlock red stars at day 150. What is this? That makes me feel good though, because sometimes I do worry that because obviously most of our experience is so end game, and like our new player experience was literally, it was a different game. Like it's 2 years ago. That I do worry sometimes we're too end game focused. So that makes me feel pretty good actually. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, at least in my mind, it's like, I don't know if we could give the best advice for new players. We can try to guide them the right path, but we can't really experience what it is like for them. That's why I try not to do any like info or like help with things. If I have a 7 red star I would be using, because that's not going to be most people's experience. So like, it's not really going to help them.
You know what I really should do is I should post a video as if I was giving a new guide advice to someone joining the game in March 2018. Like just make that like, and just to show the age of like how different it was. Just like and looking like the best bet to like get your Deadpool up, guys. Just make sure you hit that raid every 2 hours. Like just make sure like just set an alarm. That's how you do it.
Like what is he talking about?
Yeah, that's it. Oh man, good times. Good times. OG Thanos. Remember he wasn't that great.
Oh yeah.
Good times. Now, any major updates to your account this week?
Yes, it's actually because of the big news of the week that my boy Blob is going to the arena store. So I took him to T14 in anticipation.
Oh my god. Why?
Because he's 7 red star.
He is 7 red star. Yeah, fair call. There's almost like an unwritten rule, right? That you have to, good, bad, or ugly. Yeah, fair play.
Unless it's something like Ravager Boomer. He's not going to T14.
Truth. Yeah. Well, I'll get some bad news for that squad a little bit later with it just a brand new counter that's going to really ruin his day. But, yeah, it's not too bad, but there's some fun stuff. So look, before we get into the show, guys, for those of you wondering what is on today's schedule, we're going to be talking about the absolutely nice kits that have come out this week with all the new characters. It's a hell of a lot of rework to some old ones as well, which we always love. Like whenever they make older characters better, it is always a good thing for the game. So there's going to be stacks to talk about there. So yeah, we're going to be having a very brief news section and then straight into that. But before we do, Roy, we have to take a quick detour, and that is, of course, talking about our experience with Red Stars this week. Before I do, though, if you do have an addiction to gambling, or if you displayed gambling behaviors before, or you're under the age of 18, I would love if you skip forward about 60 seconds into the future to skip this next part, which for everyone else is going to be called Red Star Watch. So, Roy, What did you get in your gambling loot boxes this week?
Well, I did get the only thing I did get was another data point for my theory that pulling on blue stacks is a very bad idea for me, at least. I got absolutely nothing. Didn't even pull like a 4, so I only opened 10, so of the regular ones. So I figured I'd give it a shot, but yeah, it's nothing.
So this week, Roy, I pulled nothing but disappointment. So in other words, nothing but for me.
So a normal week for you.
So many. Yeah, I opened so many up until X23 left the store, and then I was like, nah, I give up. So I actually don't have that many reds left, and the only one I've got is, and this links into our first news story of the week, is the last of the 5 elite orbs to open, thanks to finishing the Fun in the Sun calendar.
Did you finish all those milestones?
I finished them all, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even. I stopped at like 41. I was just like, I can't blitz. Because I got a blitz for X23, so it's like I'm already burnt out on it, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it was definitely that campaign energy day. Like, if I didn't have that, if I didn't blow all those cores, there was no way I finished that event, nor if I didn't have enough saved up to open up at the start. So that combination saved me. Finished without about a day to spare, which was pretty nice. So I ended up getting all that, finally got enough bio gear to finish the Black Order, and they are now all T14 finally. So hooray. Yeah, so yeah, Cole, man, he got a nice little DPS upgrade there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And now, is he in the Elite Red Store? I feel like
yes, he is. He is. I saw
him. Well, let me rephrase. He's not in mine, Roy. Never. Never in mine. It's pretty crazy. In fact, I was only thinking this week, right, to manipulate that store, you almost don't want to take unnecessary characters up to 5, because it obviously increases the amount of you getting the characters in that 6 part of the store that you don't want to be there.
Well, I mean, I've had up to 4 showing as a 6 upgrade in there, so it can go up.
Yeah.
Go up into the second row at least.
Yeah, mine's like 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6. That's the devil's number. So yeah, it's... Yeah, hopefully we can pull something decent this week. I'd love to get some decent red stars on some of the characters coming up soon, because while they're a bit of a mixed bag, some are great, some are middling, and some are just... I'm wondering if one of them might be a legendary. I'd love to get red stars on, let's say, 2 out of the 3 new characters, yeah.
Yeah. So how many elites do you have saved up?
1.
1 elite 5?
I opened everything during that X23 event, and I got garbage. Yeah, I got nothing.
What did you end up on with her?
With her, 3 in the end.
Oh,
I pulled that right near the end of the normal ones. Yeah, pretty rough. Well, that was the nail in the coffin, because I think, wasn't I trending down? It was like, I think I had 5 on Deadpool, 4 on Cable, 3 on Negasonic, like 2 on Domino. I was like, well, there's clearly a 1 coming, or a 6, and we all knew it was not going to be a 6 in my account. So.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, no luck there, unfortunately. But, yeah, hopefully that turns around. So, what was your final thoughts of the Fun in the Sun event?
I think it was nice. They gave several different ways to open it up. The orb opening part of it was kind of disappointing since you only got chimichangas in it. But that was easy enough to get done.
And there
overall, it was good.
And there wasn't a lot of things in the Blitz milestones either. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like, they normally stack like a few orbs in that way. But with this event, I mean, it was probably, in a lot of ways, one of the less generous. Like, you kind of had to spend somewhere to make it easy. Otherwise, just do a god-awful amount of blitz. And I tell you what, on most of the socials today, whether it be on the Facebook accounts or on Reddit, there are so many like memes about like blitz burnout that yeah, it's crazy. And they're about to roll into X23. Rip. Ugh.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't want to do this, because I don't want to completely hate it when I have to do X23.
Yeah, man, it's going to be pretty rough. Well, I'm not going to go that hard, because there's no point. Like, even if I dominated and got like great yellow stars, she's only 3 red. So she's not usable. She's not farmable forever. And this is becoming a recurring theme now, that it's easy to skip characters if you don't get good reds, because it's like, what's the point? They're not going to compete in any of the major game modes unless they're under 3, so forget it.
Right. Yeah, I got 5 on her, so I got to go hard. Well, hard for me.
Yeah, man. Oh, I would be for sure. Absolutely. And as you said, the blob coming to the arena store is a pretty big deal. And that takes me to the offer section. There's been some great offers since that announcement came out that Scopely's taken over, man. Like, I honestly wonder if they said to someone, look, guys, if you make it so that every offer is more than $35, that store's going to look expensive, right? Throw in a couple of $2 ones here and there, or some $3 ones. And man, they've been on fire. Like Colossus for a couple of dollars, 50 shards, Toad, Blob, a lot of these characters that are, farmable but long farms. It's been great for Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. Plus, I saw they had a Mega Orb that was pretty cheap compared to how it was like 35 or 50 before. So
it was so funny, too, because they were sitting side by side in store. So, like, in the Aussie store, it was like, I think it was something like $7 per Mega Orb. And I was like, done. And the offer below it was like $38 for one, plus like 700 towards the next one. You're like, dude, no. That doesn't even make sense. And they've given up with these new ones as well. Like, they don't write, this one is 1,000% off the normal price. It's like, they don't even pretend now. It's just like, this is the price today, right? And that's much better too, because it's not misleading. It's not implying a price that doesn't exist. So I've been stoked. They can keep bringing offers like that as long as they like.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, today we had the double mercenary event, which from my account anyway, with 250 refreshers, still proves the maths of 2 times 0 is 0.
Nice.
Yeah, how'd you go? Did you pull anything good?
Who are you even farming still?
Merc Sniper. Remember last week I was going through my roster and I was like, oh, how do I not have him finished? I must have removed him because I got tired of seeing his dumb face at 6 red stars at the top of my account. I was like, I just can't look at him right now. He's just a disappointment.
Nice. Yeah, I'm down to only farming Colossus, Elsa, Ghost Rider, and then Karnak. I've actually just gone down to farming one time of Karnak a day since I'm already at 224 or 300, so I've been pulling very well on him. So.
Oh, you've been doing multiple refreshers a day on these tunes? Weird.
Yeah, on Karnak. So I just wanted to make sure I have him at 7. I didn't want to take any chances.
Fair. That's pretty fair, yeah. Because I'm farming who at the moment? I got Merc Sniper at 213, Karnak at 196. Elsa's a fair way behind. She's only 98 of 200. Ghost Rider is at 138 of 300. And then everything else is in a store. Yeah, Toad, Strife, and Sinister. Although I did pull 100 on Sinister today out of a Mega Orb, which was pretty great.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's the only orange I'm going to get now. So rip any chances of
so
getting
enjoy
my
that.
7 red star nut this week with Squirrel Girl. But what are you going to do?
Right.
Well, got to take the good with the bad. It's always like the gold luck or the shard luck for me. But I traded in for some reds. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And as you said, X23 coming back in that blitz this week. So, I mean, I'm still pretty much in the camp of what's the point there. That score is going to be redonkulous. But we kind of need to see it because of data. Like, we need to see what the impact of having the bots completely gone for a full, blitz now. And, man, I tell you what, the bans, they have not stopped. There is a lot of morons out there who just gone, yeah, but they won't catch me, though. Like, I use one where it clicks twice instead of once. They'll never figure it out. It's like, but they did.
They'll never figure.
But they did.
Well, there is, since there's a new update coming, and they said a new and advanced option. Many people think that will be the auto blitz, and hopefully that'll be before X23.
Oh, God, I hope so. I mean, if I could cut down my milestone and chill time to half, that'd save me a good 8 minutes a day per blitz. No, it honestly would be pretty great. Like, even if it means lower scores, but you can just get, like, a little bit higher up. I mean, it's just so needed. It's... you talk about low-quality screen time as being like the running gag now for ages. Like, it's literally what the Ronin old-school meme used to be. It's like we used to joke about how terrible he is. The running joke now is the narrative that, there's quality screen time with Blitz. There's just not. So, yeah, let's get that as far as I'm concerned. That's going to be awesome if it's true.
Oh, yeah.
And the Ultima store should be in there as well. We saw the tag for the new store. So I'm really curious to see what's going to be in that. I have no doubt this podcast will drop and it'll be like, look at the new store, like, because we've missed our window.
Right. So, like, okay, a podcast is out. We can release the new store.
Wait till you hear some of these kits, man. I swear to God, Foxnext is just looking for ways to make my life more difficult. We literally just finished that tier list, put a whole bunch of characters as junk, and they're like, oh yeah, want to bet? Let me just help you move those up a little bit by making them better, shall we? So
we're gonna fix that for you, buddy.
Yeah, man. So we'll talk about that In fact, right now, so we're going to talk about today the new characters. We're talking Beast. We're talking Emma Frost. We probably won't go over Squirrel Girl again. She's going to be in game. We talked about her last week. But a hell of a lot of updates to existing toons. Like, it's really exciting, actually, some of these changes. Some of them are minor and the characters still suck. But some of them, whoo, some of them might be relevant again, which I'm pretty excited about. So of the new 2 characters, Roy, where would you like to start? Who do you think has the nicest pair of kits?
He is riding the edge, ladies and gentlemen.
What are you talking about? I'm just talking about the character kit. What?
Dirty and acceptable. Let's go with...
You gotta go with your boy.
Yeah, we'll make him wait for it. So we'll go with Beast.
All right.
Who Big Roy Stradamus predicted so long ago that he would be healing with his magical potions.
Well, let's see how close you got. All right, so brace yourself, ladies and gents, for a Beast infection because he is finally in the game. He's going to be a hero, global mutant support, and X-Men. And his kit's pretty good, but there's a couple of weaknesses I'm a little bit worried about, mate. So, starting off with his basic dignified strikes. His primary is going to hit... his basic dignified strikes will hit the primary target and adjacent for 250% damage, which is fine. He's a support character. But the real winner is here. He's going to flip one positive effect to a negative effect. That's good.
Very nice.
Here's the weird part about this kit, though, right? It basically guarantees you have to use a certain someone on this team. If he is called in for a counter-attack or an assist, however, he's going to flip 2 positive effects to negative effects. He actually does more on an assist or a counter than the original attack. It's a really weird kit, but I kind of love the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most of the time you're going to be getting more counters or assists than you are using his basic with how low his special is on energy.
Exactly. Yep. And that's pretty good. And obviously that means that Storm pretty much has to be in whatever this team's going to be. And we're going to talk about its viability for raids and stuff like that once we hear about all the other reworked X-Men at the same time.
Yep.
Then we get into the special, super low energy cost, 3 of 3. I love this trend of all these new characters, Roy. They're all 3 for 3 on the special. Like, all really low cooldowns. It's awesome. Like, more of this, please. More of this, please. So, and in fact, all 3 of these characters clear negative effects on the special. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he only clears 2 negative effects for himself. It's a bit selfish there. It's unlike Hank, but what are you going to do? Then he's going to heal the 2 most injured allies for 20% of his health. So I think having big reds on this guy might be all right. But then the weird part about it is then he attacks everyone for damage. So it's like, it's such a weird ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, his attack's pretty low as well, so I don't... Yeah, that last part is weird, but I mean, a heal with a cleanse for himself is still not terrible. Mm-hmm. Especially because the order of the ability, it looks like clear, then heal. Yeah. So, he might be able to, get some stuff off himself, which is pretty good. Ideally, like a heal block.
Yeah.
Now, this ultimate, though, has the potential to be pretty crazy. Apply offense up to himself and all blasters, all brawler, and X-Men allies.
Very nice.
Then, apply defense up to all protectors, controllers, and X-Men allies. Speed up and ability energy to himself and all support and X-Men allies. And then apply regen to all X-Men allies. It's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good ult.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's on a 6 cooldown, but because of that energy coming out, he kind of gets like a free tick up towards the next one. It's really strange. Yeah. But there's some potential here because they're like feeding their energy out to blasters. Offense up to blasters and brawlers. Well, there's Black Bolt in a raid. If you want to make him go rogue and just go, all right, you can join the More in Order this week. Then defense up going out on protectors and controllers. So that's going out on your Thanos. Speed up and ability energy to support. Well, hello, Minerva. You can have some free energy. Like, I kind of love some of the flexibility that he's got. And obviously, on an X-Men team, it goes without saying this is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really, really good. I like it a lot. Then we get to his passive, the Stars and Garters. So if this character has 3 or more X-Men allies at the start of a battle, The first ally death does not count towards the loss of a medal in campaigns or challenges. This is awesome. This is actually really good. Do you remember the old days, like where we had to use like shield operatives and stuff to kind of like hide away that dumb thing out, and if someone died, you weren't able to finish the node? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like on Heroes campaign, like was like chapter 5 or something crazy.
Yeah, where you have to try to protect them.
Yeah. So that's pretty great. Now, also on turn, apply regen to the most injured ally, and if that ally is an X-Man, heal them for 15%. And also gain 20% resistance and share that with the X-Men as well. And if you're wondering how often he is going to be taking those turns, he is a nice and speedy 116. He is a nimbly, pimbly little beast man. I don't mind this kid at all.
Yeah, looking very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I need to test him. I don't love how long the cooldown is on that ultimate. It's probably the only thing I don't like, is that it is a 6 energy cooldown. I mean, it's a massive buff, but it looks like it's only a 1 turn buff.
Yeah.
So that's potentially a limitation, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. We will see. So what's your thoughts on Beast? Is he living up to your expectation?
Yeah, I think he looks pretty good. Only thing that could have helped if he removed negative effects on the team, or even just the lowest health guys. That'd be the only improvement I could see. It'll make it harder to try to use him in like a hybrid, since he doesn't remove the debuffs, which is what you need, like in symbiotes.
Now, if you remember his old leak kit, though, this has been nerfed pretty hard. Remember how he was originally adding like a stacking 30% buff to the entire team's attack, and there was all this other insane things that he used to have. So it's still pretty good. Oh, really? The old leak one was crazy, man. Now, the good news is, as well, to help him out, because it looks like they're trying to give them a bit more viability in raid, or maybe they want you to use a bit on defense in war. I don't know why you would, but I guess you could. They've updated some of the older X-Men as well, Roy. So starting off, and this is an incredible one, like an incredible change, especially if you're not doing Ultima 7 right now. If you're a newer player and you're going through some of the old content, could you imagine how much of a difference this makes to Ultima 6, Roy? Oh yeah. Storm, with her basic shocking blow, if Beast is on the same team, she will gain 2 stacks of charged, not 1.
That is very nice.
It's so good. It's so good. I mean, that means, what is it, 10 turns, and you're going to max boom? I don't even think you need 10 turns. Like, you'd only probably charge to, like, what, 7 or 8 max?
Yeah, it'll be much easier to charge her up, so that might be very good if you're trying to push in even Ultima 7.
Yeah, it's harder to get her in there. She's a little bit squishy. But, now that we're in sort of a new realm, I suppose, Roy, with Ultima 7, like D3, D4, having a team that can just come in and explode is pretty amazing if you can make it happen. So, yeah, I love this. But here's a really cool one. It's got RNG, which loses a few points, but it's still kind of great. So her special Ice Storm would have to be probably one of the least used abilities of any kit I've ever seen, because it used to consume the charges, and then they're all gone by the time you get to the ultimate. So now if Beast is an ally, there's a 50% chance when you do that AoE slow/stun that she won't lose the charges. If that was guaranteed, I'd be T4ing that in a heartbeat. Do you know what I mean? They could charge double the T4, I would spend it. If it guaranteed you could do that without losing the charges, bro, that would be so good.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But it's still, I mean, if it procs that way, it's amazing. But if you lose all your charges and then you can't do the ultimate, which is why she's there, that's bad.
Right.
Yeah. Cyclops is basic now. If there is one X-Men or more on his team, he will always give the defense down instead of the chance. So that is much, much better. Now, Wolverine, how many changes has this guy had to his kit now? Is this like 4th or 5th edition? It's up there.
I lost track.
Yeah. So his basic has been updated. Big whoop. So now, if this character has one or more X-Men allies, all of the secondary attacks that he does will do a 100% chance to crit. So they're guaranteed to crit. If this character has one or more X-Men allies, this attack cannot be counterattacked. I have a feeling this should... It says basic, but I have a feeling it's actually special. I'll have to double check this. Yeah, the notes are pretty rough. I might have written this down wrong. Either way, I don't think he's moving up anywhere on the tier list anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not.
In fact, I don't know how you justify him in that team. Like, because you have to roll Beast, you have to roll Phoenix, you have to roll Colossus, you have to have Storm now. What are you going to do? You're going to put in Wolverine over Psylocke or Cyclops? I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So, unfortunately, he remains down at the bottom of the kit. Now, Sabretooth got a little bit of love as well. So, Phoenix Rising. So, on an ally taunt, she still gains taunt. That's the same. However, if Beast as an ally, gain taunt for 2 turns instead. I dig this a lot.
Yes, it's very nice because that falls off really quickly.
Yeah. I mean, even in it's just more reliable when you're going up against massive shield teams in war as well. Like, if you're going to take Beast with you, which I don't know if you do, but I guess what else you can do with him? That's pretty cool. Because then you can release Psylocke or even Wolverine out to the Rawlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's usage elsewhere. So look, the X-Men, I mean, already a wonderful team. Let's give them a rework. Don't worry about the Avengers. They don't need any help.
Right. Avengers are fine.
All in all, I'm pretty stoked about that combo. Like, Beast looks great. I think he could be better. I think he's got a couple of limitations there, but I don't hate it. He's not bad, though. He's not bad. But yeah, that changed the Storm. Whoa, there's some potential there. Good God.
Oh, yeah.
Good God, y'all. Even in the shorter format of the game, like, if you only go to 3rd turn, like, I've got a 5 red star Storm. Like, her at 3 charges is enough to kill a lot. I can only imagine what that would look like at 6. It's going to be pretty good.
Yep. Do we know how he's being unlocked?
No, I mean, I don't, as of the time of us recording this, so it's just a matter of waiting and see, because the Envoys only came out with their details last night, so I haven't had a chance to unpack all the information they have yet. I've literally just wrote as many Fast and Furious notes as I could.
All right, so Blitz, in other words.
Probably. I mean, we're getting Squirrel Girl is the new campaign, and we don't know about Emma Frost either, so I mean, it's probably just going to be Blitz. Whether it's Blitz 2.0 with whatever this new format might be, hopefully, but we'll wait and see.
Yep.
Now, Emma Frost. Good God, does her kit excite me? Man, there's some potential here. There's so much similarity between these 3 kits, but it's amazing how the execution changes just a little bit, and it's insane. Yep. So, she's a villain global mutant controller. Her basic fashionable strike is going to attack for damage and flip to positive effects to negative effects. Always good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if she is charged, however, she's going to deal more damage and clear the effects instead of flipping them.
So it becomes worse on the second part.
It's interesting, right? I mean, I could kind of see the case that for some characters like Deadpool's or like if you have a Thanos that's about to flip, like having those debuffs gone so they can't flip them on you might be beneficial. But it's so situational. I think you're right. I think in most cases it's actually a negative.
Yeah. You would think they would have had it opposite of that, where it's clear on regular and then flip them when she's charged, but...
Yeah, I mean, she does do the more damage, I suppose, but still, I mean, she's a controller. With your controllers, that's not what you're looking for, let's face it.
Yeah.
Now, her special is pretty great. So she has an energy cost 3 of 3. If she is charged, clear charged. She's going to barrier herself for 20% of her maximum health, which is pretty good for her. I mean, selfish, but fun. Then she reaches out to the rest of the team. It's like using your oxygen mask on yourself first, then looking to the kids. So when she's finished with that, she's going to clear all negative effects, all of them, from herself and all allies. Hello, JJ. I like it.
Yes.
Now, this is where your Blob and his friends are not going to do well against this team anymore. Then she's going to apply immunity to herself and all mutant villain allies. You are not going to be able to blind the Marauders when she's on that team.
Yes, but they'll already be blinded by the time she takes her turn.
She's going to clear, and then she's going to apply that immunity, and she's the fastest of that team outside of Strife in War. So, yeah, she's still going to basically make it so that those blinds do nothing.
That's okay.
And then Pyro...
My big, beautiful blob will still smash him in the face when they hit him.
Well, for your sake, I hope so. Then, as if she's not done, she's going to apply slow to all enemies, and then she gains charged again. That's a really weird part, that one.
Like, why clear it if you're just going to give it to her again? What's the point of that?
Well, it's about her passive. It's kind of a strange one. We'll come to that when we get very shortly. So her ultimate, now that's a very low cost cooldown at 3, but her ultimate is also very low at 2 out of 4. So it starts with 2. So on turn 2, this is going to go off. If charge, clear all positive effects from all enemies.
God.
It is very good. Very, very good.
Super GG.
On that low. Oh my God. Well, exactly. It's just like, okay, well, we're not having any. And you know what? You can't have any either. That's fine.
Yep.
It's pretty good. Then she blinds the primary target. And then she does the most insane thing I've seen in kits for a while. I'm so excited by this. She is going to mind control the 2 enemy or ally characters that have the most damage on the board, and they will both attack the primary target. And they will do so with 40% more damage than they normally have.
God.
That is stupid at how good that sounds. Can you imagine this in DD3? Dude.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about the potential for stupidity with this. I mean, I almost want to just go straight into difficulty 5 again with her and just go, oh yeah? See how you like this? While you're hitting yourself. Now, if the primary target, when you use that ability, is killed by one of the mind-controlled targets, she will then also blind the enemy with the most speed bar. Like, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Think about that ultimate, Roy. On a 4-turn cooldown, clear all positive effects from enemies, blind the primary target, make your biggest 2 attacking things on the map, punch it twice, and if it dies, you get the backup for the blind. You still get someone blinded. It's so good. Her focus is actually pretty decent. She's at 111 speed, so that's great. There is very little to hate about this chick. I mean, her damage is middle of the road. It's not terrible. Her health is better than a lot of the squishies out there. She's just on paper, she's an insanely good character.
I really want to feed her injuries so I could do that ultimate every other turn.
Right? There's stupid things you can do with her, right? Now, I also love her passive, as if it couldn't be OP anymore. Right. On her turn, she's going to heal herself for another 15% of her health. Right? She's pretty selfish like that, but I mean, she's got barrier for herself and on-turn heal. Come on, share with the squad. Then, and this is insane for her passive, so she's already rolling out slow to all enemies on a 3-for-3 cooldown. Like, realistically, she's doing almost basics never is kind of the summary of the story here, right? Because she's got such a low cooldown. She's going to apply negative 10% speed bar to all enemies just by taking her turn.
That's on turn?
That's on turn. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's so good. Now, here's where that weird charge thing comes in. Whenever she does have charged, she's getting plus 400% armor and 500% resistance. So I think what happens is, like, in case you're going to hit someone, it's going to make it so that she's kind of weaker when she's attacking, but when she's turtled up, she's got the diamond skin. It's actually pretty cool for the lore, I think. It's quite a fun way of doing it.
Yeah.
Now, she fixes, despite all the insanity you just heard me saying, she fixes the biggest problem that the Marauders have on defense, and that is that they don't spawn up in war defense with defense. Well, guess what, Roy? Now they do.
Yes.
On war defense, if you have Emma Frost on spawn, apply defense up for 2 turns to all mutant villain allies. So this Marauder defense squad, when you hear the changes I'm about to talk about to the rest of them as well, is dumb. They are going to be a real pain in the rear end soon. And then for you, though, like, even if you don't have that big Marauders, I think with your big Blobbin squad, they could do some crazy things as well.
That is true.
Yeah, not that you're going to put them on defense, I guess. But, I mean, if you did, you could have fun with 2 defense up for 2 turns. Crazy.
Well, I mean, my Brotherhood 2.0, they've just been smashing the Merc defenses I've been facing, which is very nice.
Yeah, well, the question is, who's going to be the counter to Marauders now? I wonder if people shift their X-Force across to this and then they have to go old school with the Mercs. I don't know what people are going to do. It's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll use defenders.
Oh, defenders. Just roll out the defenders, guys.
They get all the extra damage to the villains. They can take them.
Oh, sorry, what are we talking about putting out a new players guide? Isn't that what all the people doing that recommend? Just like, okay, guys, farm defenders and see you next week. Like and subscribe. You know, there it is. All right, so let's talk about this squad. Now, speaking of, I feel bad for these two brothers, man. Feeling of characters that have been reworked like 5 times and still suck. Sabretooth is on the board again. His passive, they're giving him another 5% damage increase per Brotherhood or mutant ally. So another 20 to 25% depending on whether he counts himself. I don't think 20% is enough for that to matter. Unless you've got like a 6 or 7 Red Star Sabretooth, in which case that could be pretty ugly, Roy. That could actually be all right.
Yeah, I've fought some high Red Star ones, and they can be pretty annoying because they hit really hard and then they heal so much on turn. It's quite annoying.
Well, now you've got a lot more there too. And that's the thing as well. Like, it'd be interesting to see if, because I'm assuming, because doesn't he attack on, is it on attacks or is it on non-attacks? I can't remember. It's non-attacks, isn't it?
Yeah, non-attacks, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, if you have a look at Emma Frost, like, I mean, she's got 2 of those. Because I'm assuming they're not going to call mind control an attack.
Right.
So that means whenever she's doing the insane things we just mentioned, theoretically she's going to be calling in Sabretooth on every one of those as well. So just, could you imagine that? Like, think of all the things that could happen here, right? You've got mind control number 1, punches an old mate in the face. Mind control number 2, punches old mate in the face. And then Sabretooth piles in on the end of that. If you had someone like, I don't know, a Kingpin or something stupid on the team, then a random assist procs, and now you've got 4 people attacking in. Like, the stacking potential for that ability is just crazy. Not to mention, we've now got a 3rd member for the old Death Squad. So imagine you did Loki, Mystique, and this guy. And then why don't we go for S and giggles? Why don't we bring in Ultimus with his new basic, where he calls in someone on mind control as well? Just have the entire team just murder themselves. That'd be great.
Yeah, because that's boosting up his when he's attacking. I didn't even think about that. When he's attacking every time you do a non-attack with someone else. So if you have high rids on him, it's going to be nasty.
I think 5 and above, he becomes all right now. I think below that, I just don't know if it's enough. I mean, I guess it's like adding 3 Red Stars, isn't it? Really? Like another star to star and a half, depending on where you're at. I mean, maybe. I guess we need to see where he's at. But for me...
He becomes the highest damage on the team because Sinister's used 2 of his abilities aren't attacks. 2 of Emma Frost's abilities aren't attacks. So he's going to be doing tons of damage if you have him at high rids.
Well, it could all be potentially bad too, because like you don't, if you're going to have like her call in the 2 most powerful attackers on the board, you kind of don't want one to be Sabretooth. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it feels like a waste that you're going to call him in for the mind control.
Well, I mean, you'll probably be facing 2 on their team that are more damaged than him.
I'd say so. Just because the nature of attacking offense versus that, yeah. So who would that be? Like, if you were on the Black Order, who's got the highest natural attack there? Is it Corvus or is it Cull?
I would imagine Corvus, since he's more of a damage dealer, not a protector. Or supposed to be.
We're going to see. I wonder if they get their benefits on that call in as well. Like, imagine like you pulled in Corvus and he also strips those buffs. Oh, there's a potential awesomeness. I really can't wait to play it. There's so much ludicrous things that you can do with this team. It's just not funny. Now, weirdly enough, she's not a Marauder, Roy.
Yeah.
But a lot of the kits have changed on these characters to basically say, like for example with Mr. Sinister. So on Emma Frost or Marauder allies' turn, if this character's health is greater than 50, redistribute that. So that's been added. Now on War Defense, she's been added into the additional health benefits from him as well. So Sinister hasn't necessarily been buffed, he's just been changed a little bit to incorporate the War Defense and Marauder bonuses for Emma Frost specifically. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, we put this week, and there's a few people upset with us for doing it. We put Strife in the junk tier on the tier list. And Foxdex just went, really? Is that what you're thinking, Bunce? All right, let me change your mind. They have buffed this sweet Christ out of this guy. On this team, he has the potential to be massive, man. So one of the main concerns about this guy is that he's quite squishy. All right, so it used to be that like if he got a taunt on his turn, he'd get like 1 deflect, and you could stack that up to a maximum of 3. Like it was always okay, but it's never that great. Now, however, Roy, whenever he starts his turn taunting, this is his passive. This is the part I can't believe. When he is taunting on the start of his turn, he's going to gain barrier for 20% of his own health. Then, when a mutant ally drops below 50%, and he gains that another stack of taunt, which can go again up to a maximum of 3. Guess what, Ray? Another 20% barrier. Another 20% barrier. And then, if he gets a stack of regen on himself, any stack, then this can stack and stack. A stack of regen put on this guy gives him another 10% barrier. He is going to be tanky, man. Like, there's so many ways that you can trigger this that it's pretty great. And there's other irritating things as well. Like, if the proc for this is whenever someone drops below 50%, what about those real frustrating situations where you get like a Sabretooth just below 50, he takes his turn, heals 20%, then he's back above 50, you take him back down again, you're just stacking that strife for days. Then you clip a lot of that team with an AoE and Sinister goes, and just gives all of them a massive amount of health, back above 50%, right? Re-taunting on the on this guy. In this team, man, he's gone from junk tier to a really potentially effective and hard to kill tank. Yeah. And across all the things for his special as well, they've increased the barrier strength of that ability also. Like, it's very good. It's a very good rework. I mean, he has gone... I mean, I don't know where we're going to rate him. I literally need to see him in action before our tier list stream in August, because right now, that kit makes me feel like he's going to go up a lot, especially on that team.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it looks very good. I do want to try out... I still want to try out the thing where you stack Magneto... Juggernaut, and then some more protectors. So throw him in there and then Blob. Because every time Juggernaut gets attacked, he gives speed bar to all the protectors.
Well, it's all mutant villain. So, I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do if you've got Strife or someone in there as well. And then they've also made Blob's partner in crime, which will make you happy a little bit better as well. So in War now, Toad, with his passive, will also gain 100% focus for himself and share that with the Brotherhood as well. Like, it's very, very good. Okay. A lot of unexpected stuff. Like, I mean, almost a rework for all the X-Men and the Marauders. I mean, sure, some of them aren't game-changing, but some of them are wonderful. Marauders got so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the question is, like, are they going to be, like, number 2 defense now? I think they probably will be. I don't think they're number 1, but geez, they'll be close.
Because I don't see, like, a standout counter to them yet. I'm sure once we can play them, we'll find it. But I mean, they look pretty strong.
Yeah, again, that's the thing. They got so many counters to you. Because I mean, if you get to that special, which is going to come out real quick from Emma Frost, she's going to clear all negative effects that you've put out. So like, you know, that takes away a lot of things like Aimtron or things like that people might have tried in the past, right?
Yeah.
And then if you get to a second turn, like, I mean, you're going to need a tank on whoever you're hitting with. You can't hit them with, like, Inhumans or someone. Because, like, if you've got a Black Bolt in your team, you just murdered yourself, son. You done messed up. Like, you have to be careful about having an overpowered toon in there. Like, this is crazy. And what's the most insane thing about her, mate, is that she's not going to need decent red stars to do this job. Like, yeah, the focus is going to be great if she's got them, but most of her kit, she doesn't need it.
Yep.
So that by itself is pretty sexy. I love so much of her kit. She's probably my favorite thing of the patch so far, as it's been announced. I need to play her. I need to take her into Ultima 7 difficulty 5 because I've got some theories, Roy, and I think that's wrong. Oh my God. I can't wait to put her in with the More in Order. Good God, son.
Yes, the only problem is going to be she'll be legendary and you need X-Force to unlock her. So.
See, that's the thing, man. That feels like a legendary kit. Like, I'm not going to lie, it feels like a legendary kit. I mean, the fact we haven't got an announcement here for that doesn't guarantee that it won't be, but could you imagine? I hope not for my own sake, but we know something will be required for X-Force, yeah.
Yeah.
Good times, man. This is a good patch here. I mean, anything that buffs that many characters that a lot of people already have is a great patch.
Yep.
Heck yeah. All right, so any final thoughts on all of those just nice, juicy kits?
Very exciting.
Excellent. All righty then, Roy. Well, let's head on with some questions from Lay Discord. Starting off with the patron questions. We do always make sure that our patron questions are asked first. Just because capitalism, folks, that's how it works. All right, so Jedi Matroza. Which character's kit would you like to change the most, and what would you change it to? With all the preset teams limiting theory crafting, what changes to the tags would make you to promote broader usage of characters? What do you think?
I think we theory crafted this a while back, but it would be really cool to have a character or multiple characters that gets buffs or works with different teams depending on what tags they have. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could even do that with like Rogue or someone, but it'd be cool. That way you could make all kinds of teams with that character and use them however you want in all kinds of different teams.
I think that's the part I love the most about this patch, Roy. It's the first one in a while where all three of these characters, I feel like I can take them to a different team. I don't feel like I'm as pigeonholed now. I think with War and Blitz, sure, they have to go on those teams. But other than that, man, they've got flexibility that I really like. So please keep doing things like that. Yes. Now, whose kit do I want changed the most? It's got to be Wolverine. I mean, he's my favorite character in the MCU. And look, you've tried all these like duct taping that leaking pipe so many times. It's still blowing apart Fox Snakes. It's time just to put in a new pipe. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, in regards to changes to tags, I tell you what, with ISO 8, I would have loved something like you could add a tag to a character. Like if you could go in and just say, okay, we're going to have it so that, I don't know, Black Bolt is now an X-Man. Congratulations. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd love you could just kind of draft someone into another team. I think you could do probably some too overpowered stuff, so it'll never happen. But right. I'd love the flexibility to say, okay, you forego all these other cool benefits that you would have got, but you can add one tag. I think there would be something really cool about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, maybe it's not even team specific. What if you could just make someone a city character? Oh, the options.
Yes,
the options.
That would help greatly.
I know, right? All right. Blob Walker asked the question. He said that he wanted me to cosplay as a blob somewhere. He basically said that if I was cosplaying as a blob, which member of the Brotherhood would you be cosplaying as?
I'd be the Juggernaut.
Did you just beep yourself with your own mouth?
Yes, I did.
Dude.
I can't trust you to beep.
You can't say that on a PG podcast? Come on. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can. You're allowed one F-bomb. Like, I trust me when I say I've looked into this. I've read the guidelines.
Like, hey, can I drop a F-bomb? And when and how?
You get one. Remember Tony dropped one in the Avengers?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. All right, Grimnos, any special plans for the Centennial episode? So the funny thing is, technically on this podcast, we have actually done more than 100 episodes. The thing is, a lot of those were like interviews or bonus episodes. So we're kind of doing our own 100th, if you will. So we've got our own numbering system. So we haven't really talked about what we're going to do as yet.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with something fun.
Yeah. Isn't it your birthday? Or is it coming up soon?
Yeah, my birthday was this week, so...
Nice. Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like it. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, no special plans as yet, but we've been talking about doing something. What that is, I don't know. Maybe we'll go through and, I don't know, do a collage of all my best voices or Roy's something. I don't know. Actually, I take it all back. I'm not editing that. We'll make it fun. I don't know what we'll do. We'll work out something. Yeah. Headshot, just seen an advert for an Iron Man VR PlayStation game. Will Chewie be buying this, and what date can we definitely expect to be treated this experience? I bought a PSVR a couple of days ago for exactly that purpose, so it'll be coming in a few days. It was going to happen over the last 48 hours, but unfortunately I've had to deal with a lot of useless garbage that didn't have to come into my life, but that's the way world works for me. That I wanted to do so much content or play games the last couple of weeks, and yeah. No. So, yeah, it'll be coming soon, man. Yeah. Surf Diver, one of our new patrons. Thank you very much for putting a question in straight away. How do you feel about the offer pricing structure? I consider myself a dolphin, but I hear complaints all the time about how bad the offers are. Recently, I've seen offers that line up with players' valuations. If all the offers were reasonable, my wife would divorce me. And we all know the Big Roy is a whale in the shadows. What do we think? I think most of the offers are hot garbage, but the last month, it's getting harder to criticize them because they've been putting in some real crackers, some real good ones.
Yeah, they do that. They have like crappy ones for a long time, and they're like, oh, we'll be nice and do some nice ones. And they'd be like, oh, things are going to change. Then they'll go right back to the crappy ones again. So take advantage when they have good offers if you're going to spend.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel F., do you guys think this could be true? It's got a picture of Morpheus on this meme. What if I told you that Foxnext made the favorites button in the roster screen to reduce the drop rate for gear and shards for those characters? God, that feels accurate. Yeah. That feels accurate. Yeah. Imagine that was true, and you could just like stack the deck with like all the Ravagers and just like manipulate that algorithm. That'd be great. All right, Honeycombs, if you come up with a flash event for the other fourth Friday of the month that isn't Block Party, well, when Block Party's not on, what would it be? Ooh. What do we need?
A lot of people need the training mats to level people up. I certainly don't, but I know
there was that old AIM one. Yeah, I think I just prefer it to be Red Stars. It's kind of what we all need the most for any account progression, really. Maybe a Mega Orb. Maybe Mega Orb would be pretty great because they're exciting to open now that they're starting to remove junk from them each month. So maybe just maybe like just even just one Mega Orb a month for free is better than nothing. I take it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. All right, Spartan34. After seeing Beast Kit and presuming he's part of an X-Men raid team, do you think the X-Men is going to be the best raid option regardless of where you're at? Especially since Colossus is so deep in the Heroes campaign and Cyclops still isn't farmable. Look, just because of that dynamic with Phoenix, I don't think they're going to be a strong permanent raid team. But seeing that, I think for a node or two, I think they're going to be an exceptional explosion team. You just roll in, detonate half of a node, and then finish it off with your main one. And that's exactly what you need in Difficulty 4, Difficulty 5, Ultima 7. Because nothing lives in Difficulty 5 once you get past halfway. It's all... Everything's made of paper on your team, and everything's made out of fire on the enemy team. You don't win that game of scissors, paper, rock. It doesn't happen. Snorlax Hunter, last week you chose not to kill your clone. He says it's the wrong move. The clone got sick of doing your bidding and decided to steal your life and lock you in a storage facility, but you get out. You limp back to your house and see through the clone enjoying dinner with your family. Everyone looks happy. What do you do? Well, at that point, it's murder, obviously. Yeah. I mean, have we not all seen that movie? Wasn't there just like Netflix movie like not that long ago? It had Paul Rudd and Aisling B in it. This was basically that show where he got a clone of himself and they were all fighting over the same life, and at the end of it, they both shag his wife.
Oh my God, spoilers.
Sorry, spoilers. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's in the trailer anyway. It's actually not bad. I'll watch it. It was pretty fun. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'll let you know that people got their Rudy Nudies on, Roy. Is that how we say it on the PG podcast? I don't know.
Yes.
Rudy Nudies. That's how I talk to my daughter when she's like getting ready for a bath. It's like, Rudy Nudie. That's the level I have to talk to on this podcast. This is what you've reduced me to, Roy. I'm going to be singing Wiggle songs on here soon. All right. That's right. Start Lord. With all these $1.99 for 50 character shards coming out and the prospect of an Ultima store, sure does make these offers look enticing. Of course, there is no telling what's going to be in that store. What do you guys think about the offers from an Ultima store perspective? I think we've been saying it for a while. The conversion rate in that store is not going to be good.
Yeah, we don't know if there'll even be anything worth getting in there. So, I mean, it's all going to depend on if they put anything good in there and if it's not ridiculously expensive.
Yeah. True. Odd Good, we hear Chew talk about Graviton's potential every week. Personally, I feel like he's a very powerful character, but struggle to fit him into quality raid teams. He's an amazing replacement for Elsa and the Supernaturals, and works great with the symbiotes. But beyond that, I've struggled to find one that works consistently. What were your thoughts at this stage? All right, I'll share one of the theory crafting things I haven't been able to test yet. There's a team that I had an idea for, which in just passing, I was not calling the Stunning Symbiotes. That's a placeholder name. But I do like the idea of like a raid team that has Carnage and Spider-Man, as well as, who else did I have on that? It was Carnage, SSM, Graviton, Proxima Midnight. I can't remember who the other one was. The idea being that team has 3 stuns, and with the way that you can extend things on that team, there's some insanity of what you can do. Oh, that's right. It was a burst team, and Venom was the 5th. They're a little bit slow to get rolling, but if you can ride through that opening part, theoretically you can have 3 consistent stuns up at any time with multiple ability blocks as well. It doesn't have a D up on spawn. It doesn't have a heal or a cleanse in that team. So there's a lot of negatives to it. But I'm trying to use characters that aren't on their own raid team. And there's some pretty great ones that I know Yeti's been using with his symbiotes, with like a Black Order symbiotes hybrid. Not Black Order. What's that team called? Inhumans. He's using like an Inhuman symbiote squad, which does pretty well as a burst team as well. I don't mind it. But yeah, there's something to be said about symbiotes with Graviton. There's also things to be said about characters who have like 2-turn slows. Because 3-turn slows in this game, if they don't have a cleanse, is crazy. But the main one would be something like Hela, Graviton, and then either like a Ronin or a Venom or even a Vision. Something that can ability block very quickly, have Hela do an AoE giving the entire enemy raid team ability block, and then extending that for another turn because they drop below 50%. So literally locking them out for 2 whole rotations would be pretty massive, I think.
You would probably want X23 as your ability blocker.
Yeah, that's probably actually a better choice. Yeah. So look, there's so many different possibilities for that team. And I think what's going to happen is, I think we're all going to have 3 to 4 raid teams if the slider style raids continue, because they're designed not to be beaten with 1 to 2 teams, right? It's either, if you're doing it that way, be prepared to spend a lot of cores, my friends, because that's how it's going to happen. Like, you will get up until probably the second boss pretty comfortably with something like More in Order or Yeti Symbiotes team. They do okay. But past that, it doesn't matter what you've got. You can have all 6 and 7 red stars. Everything is paper. You will die. So it's just about mashing it. So 60% D5 is actually not that hard. I was really surprised how easy we're doing it. More in Order cleared right up to the vision node without a death, which was pretty great. That's the cull version that we've been using, which I do have to get that video out. People are still assuming I'm using Hela, which is definitely not the case. We dropped that a while ago. So, yeah, I better get that out pretty soon and let people know the way. I like it. Gravitons is awesome, man. I just wish that he wasn't in the War Store and that I got decent reds. He's just one of those characters, but he's not good enough to spend that extra stuff, you know?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? All right, Sky says, hi, Chew. I want to say as a nerd, I really enjoyed your tier list. There's no way I could be in 100% agreement with the end results. Opinions are like buttholes. Of course they are. I do enjoy the process and the efforts made. I gained quite the insight of various characters through the show, so that's great. On a separate note, I was thinking along the lines of a team-based ranking, but that I meant for every toon. What's the most common and best performing team that toon is on? Based on the team ranking, you would use that rank at the starting point for the members. By that I mean... Okay, so the question is this toon a core member of that team? If so, yes, they keep a rank. Does this toon benefit greatly from other members of the team due to yes, then they gain like a +1, +2. If this team's being carried, they lose a rank. The amount of time it takes to do a tier list as is, I'm just going to skip straight to the end and go, appreciate it, but I'm probably going to skip that one. Just because, I mean, the amount of different ways we could do it is nuts. And if I have to consider every possible synergy team that someone could be a part of, I know that there's their most common, but dude, it's insane. That's why we basically consider them in isolation. And then on their best synergy team only, we basically talk about how high up do they go. So, yeah. Folpsy Schmaltzy Chew just had a 24-hour stretch for the ages. Oh my god, have you heard this? So we got 7 red on Hela and Sinister.
Jeez.
He used his promo credits to take Thanos to 7 red stars. He got 6 red drops on Colossus, Thing, and Strange. Finished DD3 on the time run. Took a bunch of characters to T14. His Black Order is above 500k. Just wondering what specific days playing MSF have really stood out for you in the past couple of years. The question is posed to Roy as well. I've never had a day like that, ever. Like that's, I mean, who has? I mean, you and probably what? Remen. You and Remen. That's about it.
Yeah, I've never had multiple big... probably I did pull the 6 on Sinister and then the 7 on Thanos, so that'd probably be the best day. That would be the best day.
That's crazy, man. Like, that's a hell of a lot of luck. Like, in one day. Good God. I haven't had that in 2.5 years. That's pretty crazy. Congrats, man. And look, and thank you to everyone for their questions. Roy, any final thoughts before we start wrapping this bad boy up?
No, sir.
I think the summary is X-Men good, Marauders now good too. Very nice kits. Yes. Great. All right, so look, thank you for tuning in for another week of Strike Force Masters launch. We really appreciate the fact that you guys hang out and listen to us every single week. If you really enjoy what you just heard, make sure you head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. If you do leave us a 5-star review with a comment, we will read it out at the start of next week's episode. If you've got a couple of dollars in your pocket and you'd like to help us keep reinvesting and making this show bigger and better every week, head on over to patreon.com/SFMOL. In case you're wondering what we do with that money, this microphone you hear me through, I bought recently. I bought a mic for a new member of the team within A&R, and a few bucks of that went also over to buying the PSVR headset, so you guys can watch a fat guy pretend he can fit in a Iron Man suit. All right, so there's that, and the reviews, that's done. Make sure you check out our My Video content over on alternatereality.com, as well as where we keep all our Marvel Strike Force guides, Alternate Reality on YouTube. Now, also, Gamers with Grit is something I want to plug for myself. Gamers with Grit is basically the name of the community I'm building for gamers who want to get healthier. Maybe that means weight loss. Maybe that means you want to get stronger. Maybe that means you've got a goal for like a marathon. We're just collecting a lot of us that aren't happy with the way that we are now or want to be better, and we're going into one place. So I'm started my weight loss journey, as much as I hate the word journey, thanks to shows like American Idol over the last decade. So a few kilos down in the first week, which has been great. Got a trainer, got a masseur lined up, trying to tick all those boxes, Roy, to kind of keep the body moving so I can survive that first month, right?
Yep.
So make sure you check out our progress there. And if you really want to see what I'm up to, I'm posting every day my updates for that program at Chewburger84 on Instagram and Twitter. That is the longest plug I'll probably ever do. So, Roy, take us on out of here.
Yes, I'm Bigroyawesome on YouTube, so check me out on there. And that's going to do it. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay tuned and stay awesome.